Hi, Bruce Pardo here again with video 8 in our 9-part series on emotional mastery with heart fluency. So if you're anything like me, you like to know how things work at sort of a mechanical level and how they're scientifically validated. So this week, we're actually going to dive into the neurology that's behind emotional healing. So there's the saying that the problem with most therapy is the focus on the problem. Now, why is that? The reason is because when we're focused just on the problem or primarily on the problem, we're lighting up all of the neural networks and the biochemical processes happening in our body that are associated with that problem, with that issue. What we do with heart fluency, though, is we actually put a predominance of our attention on what's nourishing and supporting us in the moment. So we're holding space so that if that intensity arises, it comes into that space, softens and relaxes, unwinds and heals down to its roots. And as we're doing this on the neurological side, the neural networks via neuroplasticity, neurons that fire together, wire together. So new neural networks are forming that are reinforcing this unconditional resourcing and nourishment that kind of reinforce our orientation from this place. So not only are we getting this unwinding, but we're also getting this reinforcement. This is a huge part of why heart fluency works so well. But I want to show you this at the level of a diagram. So hold on a second here. Here we go. So right now, what I want to do in this diagram is we're looking at neurological activation and deactivation. And what happens is that we have an upper threshold and a lower threshold of activation within which our nervous system can handle deactivation and activation and deactivation again completely effortlessly. What happens, and this range is known as our range of regulation or our resiliency. But what happens is that at times we can get overstimulated, things can become too intense, and we pop out above our upper threshold into freeze and trauma, hypervigilance, adrenaline and cortisol are really released here. And we can only hold this elevated state for so long, and then we get exhausted and we can crash down below our lower threshold into depression, helplessness, and hopelessness. So what we do in heart fluency, one of the things that it's really important for you to understand is how to stay within this range, but really allow that activation to happen so that you're not just jumping off of activation and truncating the activation, but you're allowing it to go up through a certain amount of intensity. We can still be in our range of regulation and be feeling fight or flight or anger or happiness. We don't want to jump off unless we notice ourselves, kind of like spinning out of control, the mind spinning very rapidly, or maybe our mouth gets really dry or it gets really wet, or we have a hot flash, or we feel the energy whooshing up inside of ourselves. In that case, we want to know how to moderate, modulate, and bring the energy down. So that's one of the things, and some of the ways you can do that are just staying really focused into your body. So let me stop the screen sharing here. And this is such a key element to be able to access and have a sense of confidence. Like, you know what, I can handle this. Oh, wait a second, I feel like I'm going over. Let me disengage in a way that brings the energy back into my body and lets me feel like I'm not running away from, but I'm just rebalancing myself. So I hope this makes sense, and I urge you to, continue to, and last week we talked about holding upset, difficult emotional energy as if an adult was holding a child in your heart space at the level of sensations. If things are getting really intense, I urge you to kind of let go and then see what it's like to drop into your body. And you might even just do this, and comfort yourself a little bit. See what that does for you. See if that brings the energy back down. And then you can re-engage when things feel like they've settled down some more. So this is one of the tools in our heart fluency toolkit. So I hope this is helpful. Look forward to seeing you next week, where we're going to talk about, the ultimate of how a training format can help you and what awakening is all about. Thank you.